Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Habs Tonight. That's the first time seeing that intro, by the way. And as usual, Nick, phenomenal job because you're you. But welcome everybody. This is going to be a fun episode. We are 6 days away from the trade deadline, guys. The speculation is already going off like crazy at practice. We'll get into that in a second. But just to remind folks, we do have the promo code still on our habstonight.net store. So Habsativity. That is the code you can use for 20% off. As you can see, we're all rocking the merch. So do enter that code if you want to grab some merch and support the show. This is an exciting time, guys, for us. This is where Habs Tonight really kind of has an opportunity to shine in terms of trade season, right? So we're gonna get right into this. We have some speculation and stuff that could happen by the time this recording is freaking done. So Twitter is open, by the way. So bye-bye, Ben. We know that Ben Chiarot is not playing tonight. It is a management decision, as reported by the Montreal Canadiens. So it's pretty clear that St. Louis is the front runner to get him. I think where I'm at with this right now is that they have their first-round pick locked up with this deal, maybe a prospect, and they're working on the third piece, and then the deal's going to be finalized. That's what I think is happening behind the scenes, just in my opinion. I have nothing to back that up with, but what do you guys make of this current, it's not even a rumor at this point, right? We expect it.
It's a long time coming. I mean, it's going to obviously suck to lose Ben. He's been such a key piece of this organization. If you take a look at what Paul Byron said earlier today, he's a key piece on and off the ice. And if this team loses him, obviously it's going to be a big chunk missing for the rest of the season as well as next season. But we have some key pieces coming up. Listen, it's been rumored for countless weeks, and even today, multiple accounts, even Frank Severelli said it, St. Louis is the front runner for Ben Chiarot right now. It's a matter of hours. It's a matter of days. It is going to happen. And unfortunately, we're losing Ben. But if the return is what you say it is, I'm more than okay with it.
That's it. I mean, we're in a situation where we have to trade Ben Chiarot. It's not because we want to, oh, he sucks, let's get him out of the team. No, he's doing fantastic. It's like 9 points in 9 games. The guy's killing it. He's so good on both sides of the ice. He is a steady defenseman that any team should be looking at. But with the contract situation, his contract coming to an end this summer, we have to move him. He's going to ask for a big contract. And are we really going to give him that? Probably not. So now's the time to get something in return instead of letting him walk for nothing, right?
Yeah, and the good news is Caden Gooley is, potentially the next Ben Chiarot, if not better, I think. So That's what I think we have to look forward to if we're looking for who's going to replace him down the road, and maybe not necessarily next season and playing 20-plus minutes or anything. But I do think that we have that to look forward to in terms of a player that we can think about. I mean, you can compare Gooley to Shea Weber too, right? I mean, You can get a mixture of Chiarot and Weber in there. But in terms of Benny's value to the team, it's been upped the last little while, especially since Marty's gotten here. So you got to take advantage of it. And Ben's just been playing better and better lately. Just probably pushing for a better contract, like you said, Shane, a longer contract if St. Louis wants to take him in. And after Alex Pietrangelo leaving last year, I mean, it just makes a lot of sense to have him join their squad, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you've got Buchnevich too, that's injured, right?
Oh, they're dismantled right now. But I think from looking at their blue line, it'd be a perfect fit because, I mean, they have Falk and Torrey Krug producing most of the offense there, and then they have Colton Parayko, big boy, had taken on the defensive roles, but then you got Ben Chiarot, who's a big boy who can put up some offensive numbers and help on the defensive end. I think it's a perfect fit. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it really is. But like I said, it could drop any moment now, so stay tuned for that, and we may jump on that on a live show. We'll see who's available. But trade deadline, just to let you guys know too, next week we will be going live throughout the day. So there will be potentially multiple shows. We'll be live as trades break. And that's not just for the Habs. We'll have league-wide trades and offer any takes we can. And also really including you all in that day. That's a really fun part of doing live shows, is that you guys get to chime in as everything's happening. It's really fun. It's a really fun show. We know you can get trade coverage a lot of places, but there's no better place to get your Habs trade coverage specifically than Habs Tonight. So be sure to check us out, guys. So trade speculation begins at practice today, which we know what happened with Ben here. But in terms of, I'm just going to switch. Look at this little view, guys. It's a little close up view of us here. I don't want to cover
myself.
Yeah, center
my OCD's kicking in of like, yeah, here you go.
Look at Rocket Richard right above your left shoulder there, Nick. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So trade speculation is just off the charts at practice today. You know, Lecky and was it Brett Kulak taking a therapy day? There's all kinds of Josh Anderson's off the ice, and just the speculation is just rampant right now. So that being said, though, I mean, we know that and we're going to get this in a second, who we think some surprises could be for the Habs. But what are some of the, other than Chiarot, like, is there anything to take from the Habs practice today about who's not on the ice right now?
I don't think so. And the way Marty spoke about it, he's just saying, like, I don't even know if I'm going to have 13 forwards tonight. I don't know what the lineup's going to look like. I think it's more focused on injuries rather than precautionary measures for trades. When he was asked about when he was asked about Kulak, he said no, it's the plan that he's going to be on the ice tonight. So I don't see anything, unless something happens very last minute when it comes to a trade possibility. I don't think so. I think it's more just people are just injured, and it's been our luck throughout this season. I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
I also think, sorry to cut you off there, Shane. I also think this is a precursor to what deadline day looks like when a guy goes to the bathroom on deadline day. Like, it's like, everyone starts freaking out because the cameras are on them, right? So so that part's fun. But
we've been used to lies and deception from our good friend Marc Bergevin, right? But now
PTSD from that.
That's it. We're still recovering from that. But now we have the beautiful Kent Hughes and Jeff Gorton, who have been completely transparent with their intentions. They straight up said, Ben Chiarot is sitting out for managerial reasons, for management, coming from management. Whereas the other guys, they just said injuries. So we shouldn't look into it too much. I think it's actually injuries this time around. Nothing to speculate for now.
But it's our duty as Habs fans with PTSD that we're not used to the transparency. And now we're just freaking out. Like you said, they go to the bathroom. We're like, that's it. They're gone. They're not coming back. It's like a Mike Camilleri mid-game trade. Like, he's gone.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was fun. That
I think, like I said, unless something happens very last minute, Ben Chiarot is the only one right now that's on literally the trading block that we're not sure when it's going to happen. Otherwise, it is just injuries and let's not take a chance just in case. So who knows?
So everybody just calm down. All right. So surprises at the deadline for the Habs. So now this to me could be more realistic in terms of conversation, but at the same time, like the names that we've heard out there. So we know Ben, we know Lecky. There's interest there. I think there's not been a lot of talk about Brett Kulak, but I think there's quietly interest on him. And anybody else that comes to mind for you guys? I mean, we've had rumors about certain players for a long time. Some things I think are going to happen in the offseason, by the way. I think if we're going to make more moves. But in terms of any surprises, is there any players that you'd be shocked to see go?
Shane and I discussed this quickly on Autour de la Ligue last night, where we said that Brett Kulak might be that we're not sure, but it might happen type of guy. If somebody's making a deep push for a playoff run, he would be great at the blue line. We've seen it when it came to the bubble and even last year's playoffs, that he's a guy you can depend on. We also discussed about the possibility of Mike Hoffman, where it's been such an off and on type of season for him that if the opportunity is there to maybe bundle him up and let him go, I wouldn't be surprised. If we're keeping him, obviously I'm still going to be happy about that. But I think Mike Hoffman might be that one specific player where if the opportunity is right, we're going to see him go. And Shane, I don't know if you want to touch on what you said about Jeff Petrie in French last night, but that was one of your key ideas.
That's it. I don't see Jeff leaving this week. if he does leave, it would be a summer trade. I feel like because there's no need for it, right? You're not rushing to move him. Whereas a guy like Chiarot, you can't move him this summer because he's going to move anyways. And another guy too that I wouldn't be surprised to see go. It's not really a surprise, but I wouldn't be surprised is Chris Wideman. Again, he was kind of a showcase this season, right? Brought in from Russia, proving that he can still play in the NHL. He still has a role. So I believe teams should call for him. And I mean, if we keep him, sure, that's fine. But like you said, Deeks as well, Kulak, I don't see his future with the team really. His contract is coming up, and I don't know if we'll give him what he wants. So again, wouldn't be surprised to see him move.
Here's my player. I don't know that it's a surprise necessarily, but I'm looking at Jake Allen. I'm thinking about him because, as Nick mentioned before we even recorded here, he's potentially going to be playing on Thursday, and there's no other reason to me that he's going to be coming back this soon, right before the deadline, other than to showcase him. And I don't see how the Edmonton Oilers don't try to snag him. Like I know Edmonton needs a goalie, Toronto needs a goalie, but I really just like something about. I know Edmonton wants either Carey Price or Jake Allen, and if they can take Jake Allen right now, I absolutely think they're going to take him if they can make a package work for the Canadiens.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's fair game. There's a lot of teams that could use Jake Allen, and showcasing him might not be a bad idea since he is coming back from injury. He might take a little bit of time off when he joins a new team and then be ready for a playoff run. We know he can handle it. So Shane and I have said it countless times, Edmonton, I mean, what are you guys doing? Just please get a goaltender if you're going to make a push for a playoff run. But it's never happened. So, I mean, I'm not going to hold my breath on Edmonton. But as you said, Deeks, the Leafs situation when it comes to goaltending is just an absolute shit show right now. So I know they're in on anybody who is on a trading block, but I wouldn't be surprised for them to try to make a push and maybe possibly overpaying if they can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they can anymore, though. That's the thing. Like, I
know there's everything's tight for them. So
yeah, and
they already gave everything away last season because it was all or nothing. Spoiler: it was nothing. But those are the two places that maybe could benefit from Jake Allen for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and Nick, me and you said it before coming on the show.
Yeah,
and we'll say it publicly now. If the Edmonton Oilers win the cup with Mikko Koskinen as their starter, we will each buy a Mikko Koskinen jersey. That's that. Yeah, we will do it.
And we will wear it proudly on the show for a full episode.
That's a gamble. That's a low risk gamble, guys.
Exactly.
That's
why we made it.
Well, what fun is that? No, but I do really think Jake, if he's healthy and good to go, I like Edmonton. It's a must. Like it's a must for Edmonton. Like certain teams have musts at the deadline, and then you have your wish lists, right? But it's a must that Edmonton needs a goalie, and it's a must. Maybe I don't even think Toronto's convinced. I really don't think Kyle Dubas, the way he thinks, is convinced that. I mean, with Jack Campbell hurt, I think that he's going to continue to have faith in his goalies. So if they don't get a goalie, I won't be surprised. I think defense is still and has always been their deal. But what are we talking about Toronto for? Okay, so here we go. Well, you know what?
Topic.
You know what? This is still Toronto related. I can't even help it. But Jake Chychrun, who Montreal is playing Arizona tonight at the Bell Center. Jake Chychrun, who's at the top of the trade bait board or near the top, is out for 2 weeks. So that might just. But I don't know that it eliminates him from the trade talk. This is just a very quick note. I'm just skimming over this, but the fact that Jakob Chychrun is potentially maybe not available now kind of hurts the market a little bit in terms of getting a defenseman, a highly sought after defenseman, mind you. But I mean, I don't really sense that it's impossible for him to move even if he's injured. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's rare that you kind of see somebody injured being traded and stuff, but I mean, his potential, and if he's out. Like he's not out long term, so it won't surprise me either. But the fact that he's, let's consider him air quotes out right now, helps us when it comes to Ben Chiarot's value. You're going to get more teams that are going to fight over a defenseman right now, especially with him being lowered. Ben Chiarot's going to go up, and Brett Kulak too.
That's it.
So honestly, best wishes to Jacob, but it helps us. I'm happy with it. And tonight, well, if we get a chance to possibly get a few goals without him there, I mean, I won't be upset either.
Yeah. And speaking on boosting Ben's value, yesterday was a big boost to Ben's value because Josh Manson went to Colorado for a B, C level prospect and a second round pick,
And they retain salary.
which is a really good trade for both teams. Granted, that makes Colorado's
Yeah.
defense one of the best in the league. But, I mean, that's a great return for Anaheim as well. So Ben Chiarot is way better than Josh Manson. Let's not sugarcoat it here. So he could fetch us a lot. It's pretty exciting to think about.
So moving on from, and you're right on Ben's value just going up. So, I mean, that's why the Habs really want to rush this, but like you have to think again, like the Habs are working on that third or fourth, maybe fourth piece in the Ben Chiarot deal. Huh? Okay, maybe. So that's what I think there. But okay, let's transition to just the way the Habs are playing lately. Maybe the best, other than Paul Byron, maybe the best waiver wire pickup, Mr. Rem Pittlick, ladies and gentlemen. The way he's playing lately, he's having a great time. I just saw his quote actually from after the Habs Philly game the other night, where him and Susie were smiling before the face-off when the Habs were shorthanded there, and they just look at each other and they're like, "Let's go score," and then they did. So that was fun to see.
He's amazing to watch. I mean, a waiver pickup, probably the best since Paul Byron. I have no complaints on Rem Pitlick. He's fast. He's committed. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I'm more than happy with him. I'd be happy to see him sign a long-term contract. Shane and I discussed this actually on Untitled Chapter again yesterday, where you see Jesperi Kotkaniemi being offered an 8-year deal at 4.5 mil, and Rem Pitlick has 3 points more right now. So is this something that we're going to take a look at, signing Rem Pitlick long-term for the same amount? Is he worth it? Remains to be seen, but Rem Pitlick is definitely somebody that I'm seeing sticking around with the team, and you're building around him.
Yeah. I'm expecting more of a bridge deal, maybe like a 2-3 year deal with a low cap value. But no, we definitely need to sign him. I mean, this guy is a part of our future now. My God, I'm so happy we picked him up. Thank you, Jeff Gorton. That was a wonderful
His first move.
That was his first one. Yeah.
My goodness, that's quite the pickup. And I mean, I'm still baffled how Minnesota could just let him go for nothing. Like, this guy scored a hat trick. His first 3 goals were in the same game. Whatever. We're happy about it. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
He's I mean, 24 years old, so kind of came into the NHL. Well, he came in 2018, but he played 1 game with Nashville, played 10 games a couple years later, and then goes to Minnesota and then to Montreal. So, I mean, he only has 54 NHL games played right now. So that's crazy to me. But hey, I mean, Rem Pitlick's been a fun player to watch. He fits in with the young identity, the speed, the skill that the Habs want to go with. And I think his skill was underrated. But I remember when we picked him up, and I pulled up some highlights, and again, like you mentioned, Shane, his first 3 goals were in 1 game and for a hat trick, and then just watching him, even skating wise, just skills, like everything Montreal's looking for. Everything Montreal's looking for, Rem Pitlick is delivering on right now. So moving on to another player who is an interesting topic of conversation. And I think this is tough for me to talk about because for the last few weeks, even on my own channel here, I've been asking viewers, like, what does the future look like for Brendan Gallagher? Now, I know the captaincy debate can be back and forth between him and Suzuki and Anderson or whatever. But in terms of the way Gally plays, if we're going to keep Gally long term, like, this thought literally ran through my mind while watching him lately about how Gally plays in front of the net. And I'm wondering if that style of play Gally does can be sustained because of the injuries he's had, that's really just the injuries, I think. So Marty St. Louis, basically, it went from my head to Marty St. Louis' mouth and how he wants to help Brendan Gallagher evolve his game. And I couldn't have agreed with that more, because I want to see more offense and more just, I don't know, like, you guys know where I'm coming from when I say this, right?
It's an interesting comment from Martin St. Louis for sure, because we know Gallagher hasn't had the best year, and I think that's why fans are just discouraged with his contract right now, because we signed him based on scoring 30 goals a year, So it's going to be interesting to see what Martin does. I have complete faith in him from what he's done with we're going to talk about Nick Suzuki in a moment, but if he can do something, I'm not going to say he's going to do something exactly the same, but if he can take Brendan Gallagher under his wing, a small player just like him, and make him evolve when it comes to just his skating and making key plays, that's going to be huge for him. And Martin said today, all of the teams are basically saying what we want to hear when they do their pressers is that, wow, Montreal used their speed. And Martin said it countless times that he wants this team to be fast. But today he mentioned not only fast on the ice, I want this team to be fast up here. And I think that's the aspect that we're going to start developing and seeing more is players using their mindset when it comes to key plays. And that might be an aspect that Brendan Gallagher is going to develop along with Martin is going to be using. I'm not saying he's not using his head right now, but using more of the hockey concept that he's putting on the ice.
And I just want to jump on this quick because I think hockey IQ there, right? That's kind of what you're
analytics and IQ.
And and I think if anyone's open-minded and willing to learn, and I know that everybody is under Marty, but a veteran player, if there's a veteran player, it's Brendan Gallagher, and he's got to be open-minded, I think, and that could only benefit us, right? Because this contract with Brendan, I mean, even if the Habs had a appetite to trade him, that contract is not easily tradable anyway. So we love him to death. Let's make the best use out of him for the next couple of years in this contract, see where things are at in a few years with this retool, restructure, rebuild, whatever you want to call it. And then you evaluate it from there. But
and who knows? It might actually relaunch Brendan Gallagher next year. Like this year is a write-off. So whatever he did, I'm not even considering it that it's going to be pushed to next season. It's a write-off. A brand new season, a brand new Gallagher next season, especially with Martin St. Louis, could relaunch him, right, Shane?
That's it. And like, it's pretty obvious that the loss of Philippe Danault and Thomas Tatar really hurt him. That was a beautiful line. The chemistry was insane. So if he's given an opportunity to be on a steady line and build chemistry with his line mates, we could see the good old Brendan Gallagher that we know and love. I would personally love to see an attempt at trying to put Dvorak, Drouin, and Gallagher together on the second line. I feel like that could bring some good stuff to us. So I mean, trying to change his ways in front of the net will take some time because that's all he's known. That's his bread and butter. He is so good at it, but like you said, Deeks, it's like that'll cut his career short if he keeps doing that. So we want to keep Gally as long as we can. And if he needs to change his game, it's a sad reality.
It's not necessarily sad reality. I just think it's a necessary reality because of the player that he is. Gally's got skill. I mean, when he first came in with Galchenyuk, I mean, we saw very quickly, like, who's this Brendan Gallagher kid? He's got some skill. This is before we even knew about him being a pest in front of the net. Like, he's got a lot more to his game, and I think that it'll help his reputation with the refs. It'll keep them off of him. I'm not saying he's got to get out, like, stop getting in goalies' kitchens, but like just find a way to, re-spark that offense. And Jonathan Drouin and Christian Dvorak could very well do that. Two guys that are power play guys, by the way, when those two come back. But speaking of players, let's jump into our last topic here. So Nick Suzuki, 16 points in 11 games. Cole Caufield, his buddy, 15 points in 11 games. And we were looking at numbers earlier today too. And it's like, my gosh, we haven't had guys that could potentially be like 70, 80 plus point producers. And these two guys are the two front runners to be able to do that since like Alex Kovalev and what was it?
Max Domi did it, no?
Well, Max Domi got 72 points. Yeah. But I mean, like having two players have 70 plus at the same time. So last was Pacioretty and Desharnais. And then it was Kovalev. And I wasn't sure if it was Koivu. Just the name's escaping me right now. But anyway, the point being is that we haven't had two guys do this. And we'll finish off with this subject here, guys, and just how impressed we've been with Nick Suzuki and Caufield, guys that aren't even in their prime yet. They are giving us a nice dose of what the future.
I think that's the key word. They're not in their prime, and we've seen how just in a couple games it got turned around and relaunched. So I'm excited to see what a few season under Martin St. Louis is going to do. Again, assuming that his interim title is going to be taken away at the end of the summer. I think Suzuki, we need to discuss that he went from, that's one thing we said last week, but I'm going to mention it again. He went from being 98th in the face-off circle to 14th or 11th within a month. So just the fact that he can adjust so quickly is absolutely amazing. And that was the one thing he needed to work on when it came to consistency. And he did it. So right now, I'm not even sure what Nick Suzuki could do more to be appreciated. I mean, he's done everything. In Cole Caufield, I mean, a different beast. It's perfect to have Martin mentor him because it's basically the same player, different generation, same size, almost same talent. it's going to be amazing to watch in the next few years. Even by the end of the season, I'm just happy that they're getting the experience under Martin, regardless of what happens.
That's it. And like, I love that you said that Nick Suzuki is such a complete player, because he is. Like, I was trying to think of things that Nick could improve, and I can't. I genuinely can't. He does everything well. And you know, the biggest complaint we had was the faceoffs, and he's worked on it, and he's doing so good. So what else can you say about him? I mean, he just hit his new personal best in points and goals.
Yes.
And the season's not over yet. Right. And then
this is a write-off season too. Imagine in a full
on top
season.
Of that, my goodness. And yeah, I mean, Cole, he's the only rookie in NHL history to score more than one overtime goals in 2 different seasons, right? Because he's still considered a rookie. So fun stat. But he's also tied with Shane Gostisbehere for most OT goals as a rookie with 4. So again, the season's not over. Could break a new record. Crazy stuff to think about. I love it.
Please, NHL, do not get rid of the 3-on-3 format, for the love of Pete.
No. That was such a good idea.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, it's funny, but like, I love the 3-on-3, and then I also hate it when you lose, as anyone can imagine. And the shootout was a dud against Seattle the other night too. Like, nobody scored until the final shooter. That sucked. So I think that there's still going to be some rejigging with the overtime format, but I think it could be an extended 3-on-3. And that would be more exciting for me but again, like, you know, you can debate this all you want, but I mean, it looks like Cole was certainly built for 3-on-3. Players with speed and skill were built for 3-on-3. I think that's an easier way to put it. It's not all on Cole, but he's certainly been able to thrive in the 3-on-3, and also having him shoot that cannon the other night. Like,
he's been practicing with Marty on one-timer sessions and slap shots, clearly paying off.
Clearly, like,
the one thing we haven't seen from him since Martin's been here is working on slap shots and those one-timers like we saw in Wisconsin. Obviously, like you said, Shane, the defense is tighter in the NHL. It's a little bit harder to do, but if he can bring that aspect to his game,
like, just seeing him, seeing a slap shot goal, and we saw the one-timer goal against Toronto from the Josh Anderson pass, and that was beautiful. But to see him just on a breakaway, just wind and fire and score, like someone even had a Guy Lafleur comparison, I was like, yeah, I love it. That was fun. But just to see another element to his shot, and also not even that, guys, like the pass on Rem Pitlick's one-timer the other day. Never mind just one-timers coming off of Caufield's stick. We saw the one-timer pass from Caufield. So you saw the points that we just put up. It's not just goals that are coming from Cole. We know that's like his strongest tool, tool in his toolbox. But guys, like the assists are just as beautiful, and that's why Nick and Cole are both just as exciting, because they're able to do both and beyond. So, all right, that's all we got, guys. Let's wrap it up here, but stay tuned for trade deadline show live on Habs tonight. It's going to be great. Don't forget to like if you like this video. It does help to put us out to more Habs fans and other folks. So please like and please subscribe if you haven't already. If you're enjoying the content, we'd really love to have you part of the Habs Tonight community here. So don't forget also, again, habstonight.net. Use the promo code Habsativity to get yourself 20% off. So thanks again, guys. Always appreciated. Love jumping on with the team here. And we shall see you again very, very soon.